Hey fam, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is DeeDee. Today's video is going to be another Sunday meal prep, Sunday reset for the week. I'm going to be showing you the next 4 days of all of the high protein, low carb meals I'll be eating. I'll also show you breakfast, lunch, and dinner because you already know that's how I roll. Fam, these are the foods that I'm eating to help me maintain this 90-pound weight loss, okay? We gotta stay on track. So if you're new here and you're on a similar journey, or you just wanna follow my journey on this high protein, low carb lifestyle, go ahead, hit that subscribe button and join the family. All right, fam, enough chit chat. Let's go ahead and jump in to this meal prep for the week. For this week's breakfast prep, I am using 6 eggs, about half a cup of bacon crumbles, and about a cup of shredded cheese. Now this here is one of my favorite breakfast preps because it's quick, it's filling, and very much so budget friendly. So I'm starting off by cracking my 6 eggs into a bowl, and once I've done that, I move straight into seasonings. And for these egg muffins, I'm keeping it simple. All I'm using is about half a teaspoon each of salt, black pepper, and my total Sazon seasoning. Nothing complicated at all. I'm mixing everything up and then placing that to the side because y'all, it is time for us to prep our muffin pan. Now for me, this step is important because you do not want your egg muffins sticking when it's time to take them out. So all I did was use about a tablespoon and a half of butter, and I'm just making sure that each slot is well greased. Next, I'm starting off by pouring the egg mixture into each muffin tin. Now, I'm being careful not to fill these all the way up because I have to give some space for the eggs to rise as they cook. Now, at this point, y'all, I quickly realized what the heck was I thinking when I only used 6 eggs. This is for 4 days, so I needed 2 more eggs. So I just quickly scrambled those 2 extra eggs, and that helped me fill up all of my 12 slots in the muffin tin. Now it's time for us to add the fillings. Now first, I'm sprinkling in my bacon crumbles, and I'm gonna follow up with putting in my shredded cheese. Now, I used to mix everything together in the bowl first, but I noticed when I did that, the bacon and the cheese would just sink to the bottom. So now I just add everything directly into the muffin slots, and then I just use a fork to gently mix each one. And with me doing that, that makes me feel like every single muffin has an even amount of bacon and cheese. We are ready to head over to the oven. My oven has been preheating at 400 degrees. I'm placing these muffins in for about 15 minutes, y'all, 15 to 17 minutes. And when the timer goes off, this is what they look like. They're fluffy, they are set and perfectly cooked. I'm gonna place them to the side and we're moving on to lunch. For lunch, y'all, we are doing another budget-friendly meal. I have 10 chicken drumsticks, and this entire package cost me less than $4, which is a huge win for me. So I've already rinsed off the drumsticks, and now I'm just inspecting them to make sure everything looks good. No feathers around here, you know, just cleaning them up. I also like to place a small slit in the thickest part of each drumstick. For me, this helps the seasoning really get inside the meat, and it gives you that flavor all the way through. Now, once I'm done with that, it is time to season. I'm using about 2 tablespoons each of some salt, total Sazon seasoning. I'm also using 2 tablespoons of onion powder and garlic powder, and about a tablespoon of paprika. And when I'm mixing these seasonings in, I like to do them 1 drumstick at a time. Sometimes, if I'm able to, I go up underneath the skin where I can. And I also make sure to get some seasonings into that slit that I created as well. So I just like mixing everything in one by one, and then I mix everything together as well, just to make sure that every piece is coated. Now it's time for us to push that thing over and move on to that glass baking dish. So I'm starting off by putting in half a cup of broth to the bottom of that dish. For me, this helps create those flavorful juices while the chicken is cooking. So I'm placing the chicken into the dish right here. And then I'm adding about 1/4 of a green pepper just to add some more flavor and color to this dish. I also had some pico de gallo left from my last grocery haul. This has tomatoes, onions, and cilantro, and I just wanted that flavor built in here. So I'm adding about 4 tablespoons of that on top. Next, I'm adding about 2 tablespoons of butter, and I'm following that up with 1 cup of water just to make sure everything stays nice and juicy. My oven has been preheating at 375 degrees. I'm placing this dish in here for a total cook time of 45 minutes. But of course, at the halfway mark, I have to check on my chicken, okay? I always pull it out at the halfway mark and make sure to flip it so that everything cooks evenly. After flipping the chicken, it goes right back into that oven. Once that timer goes off at 45 minutes, the chicken is fully cooked. I pull it out and I flip it one more time and then place it right under the broiler for about 3 to 5 minutes. This gives it some color on the skin. And this is the final result, y'all. Juicy, tender, and full of flavor. We're gonna put this to the side and move on to the side dish. For this cauliflower rice, I've already heated it up and drained it. I've already added 2 tablespoons of avocado oil to the pan, and now I'm just tossing that cauliflower rice around, just making sure it's coated in that oil. And y'all know I don't like bland food, so of course I gotta season it, but it's gonna be super simple. All I'm using is about a tablespoon of onion powder, garlic powder, black pepper, and salt. I'm just mixing everything together and letting it saute for about 3 to 4 minutes. Now, after this cauliflower rice has been on this stove for a total cook time of about 7 minutes, it is nicely seasoned, nicely sauteed, and we are done, y'all. We are done. I'm just mixing it around just to make sure everything has like a nice little crisp. And this is what our cauliflower rice looks like. We'll pair this nicely with our oven-baked chicken, and we are good to go. All right, y'all, it's time to move on to dinner. For dinner, y'all, I caught a buy one, get one free deal. Both of these packages together were under $9. We are having some country style ribs. I've already rinsed them off, and now I'm starting off with the seasoning. I'm using about 2 tablespoons each of salt, total Sazon seasoning. I'm also using some paprika, some garlic powder, some onion powder, and of course, I like a little spice, I like a little heat, so I added some cayenne red pepper as well. Now I'm just mixing everything together really well so that every time you taste a bite, okay, a bite of these ribs, you get that boom factor. So I'm just doing what I normally do, making sure everything is seasoned thoroughly before we move on to the next step. All right, y'all, it is time to head over to the Instant Pot. I've already turned it on saute mode, and I'm adding 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. And once that heats up, I'm starting to sear up those ribs. Now, the sear doesn't take long at all for me, just about 3 to 4 minutes per side. And I also do this in batches so I don't overcrowd the pot. Once I sear it and I turn it over, I like to see that nice brown crisp, and I know it's exactly what I like. Now, searing is definitely optional. It's up to you, but it's just something I like to do whenever I cook my ribs. All right, y'all, after searing them, it is time to move on to the next step. Here I am adding about half a tablespoon of minced garlic, and I'm just stirring it around there with the little bit of oil that's in that pot. Then I'm pouring in about 1 cup of broth just to help deglaze that pot. And here I'm just putting that wooden spoon to the bottom just to bring all those flavors together. And the next step is just to go ahead and place those ribs right back into that pot, y'all. It is time for action. It's time to start cooking these ribs. I'm placing the lid right back on top and I'm locking it, and I'm pressure cooking it for a total of 25 minutes. Now, after that cook time is up, I let it naturally release for 15 minutes, and y'all, I want you to take a look at these ribs. They are incredibly tender. I'm just poking. You know, I like to poke, and it's just going right through. These ribs are exactly the way that I wanted them. It's time for me to remove them from this Instant Pot and move on to the next step. And yes, y'all, I did. I took a few taste tests. I did because I want to make sure it's good, and it is. I'm using this barbecue sauce here, G. Hughes sugar-free barbecue sauce, which I love because it's low carb and it has great flavor. I placed some of that sauce into a bowl, and I've already sprayed my pan with a little avocado oil just to make sure the ribs don't stick to the bottom. Now all I'm doing is brushing the sauce onto one side of the ribs. My oven is on broil mode because y'all, we are not cooking these ribs. We just want a little crisp to them. So I'm placing these ribs into the oven for about 3 to 5 minutes just to crisp it up. And then I'm just gonna flip them over and we are going to sauce the other side. After we're done saucing these ribs up, we're placing them right back into the broiler again for another 3 to 5 minutes. And once they come out, y'all, this is what you get. Some juicy, tender, crispy barbecue country style ribs. Okay, now let's move on to the side dish. And for this, I am keeping it super simple with some mixed vegetables. Now these were already steamed in the microwave, and I've already added some avocado oil to the pan, and now I'm just seasoning them up. Super simple like I did the last veggies, just with some onion powder, garlic powder, black pepper, and some salt. I'm gonna allow them to saute for about 5 minutes just to get a little crisp, and that's it. These mixed veggies are done, y'all. Super simple to make, full of flavor, delicious, and the perfect side for my ribs. And this is our meal prep for the next 4 days. For breakfast, we have some egg, cheese, and bacon muffins. For lunch, we have some juicy oven-baked chicken drumsticks with seasoned cauliflower rice. And for dinner, we have some tender barbecue country-style ribs with a side of mixed vegetables. Y'all, all of these meals are high protein, low carb, budget friendly, and super easy to reheat. All right, fam, that's what I'm gonna be eating for the next 4 days. Now, I don't know if you saw, my egg muffins kind of deflated a little bit. Now, if I have any egg muffin connoisseurs or professionals, or if you just know a trick, let me know down below. How do I stop them from deflating? When I take them out the oven, them things be looking good, and like 5 seconds later, psh, just like that, y'all, psh. Anyway, those egg muffins will still be eaten because they're still gonna taste the same, but I was just curious if there's a trick that I don't know about, so let me know. If there's a meal that I made today that inspires you and you wanna try it in your kitchen or you liked it, then go ahead and let me know too in the comments below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and drop a heart to show some love. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.